Alright, so it's another Friday morning. It's been about 2 weeks since the hive combined, and I woke up this morning to just a frenzy of bees. And what was it? They were swarming on me again. So luckily I found out before they just swarmed off. Did a mountain man catch. They were up in that tree that I just showed you, and man, I'm glad my neighbors behind me weren't home. They've never said a word to me, and I just feel really embarrassed, honestly, because my management techniques have not been, I don't know, maybe I'm just beating myself up, but it's still February, so I'm still learning our cycles here as to what's happening to our area and how it affects the bees. I'm really tired, kind of embarrassed, and at a loss for exactly what to do. But when I came out here, there were just a huge frenzy of bees, just all over, just like a huge tornado. Bigger at the top, and then smaller at the bottom. And they were all coming and frenzying around the entrance of the hive. They've calmed down quite a bit. They were all up here, all in this area. And they were going up into that tree right there. So I didn't want to try to get the camera because this was like, oh crap, I gotta get all this taken care of. I'll grab the camera after. So what I'm gonna do is there was more bees on that swarm than can fit comfortably in that hive. So this box right here, this orange one that I had this frame on, it has it just filled with bee pollen that came out of the hive number 1 before we did the newspaper combine. I'm gonna put them all in that box right there, and we'll check on the queens on the box number 2. Alright, so I'm fairly confident that the queen is in this hive right here, because they are bearding all over the outside of it. As I was in the tree up there, I was very careful to cut the branch. And if you guys are going to do this and you've never done it before, catch a swarm, make sure that you hold the branch on the side the bees are on the opposite side of the whatever blade you're using to cut the branch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in here. And some people say to close up the entrance of the hive right here. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna, hope for the best. I'm gonna have to feed them real hard because there's no built-out comb in here, and they're gonna need that comb for the queen to lay. There's one comb in there that has like a whole bunch of bee bread on it, and it's one that I used to let the hive feed off of to clean it out so I could store it and then freeze it. They're pretty docile right now. I know that saying docile is pretty relative. They don't seem like it, but they're not after my face right now as they are in if you look closely in some of my other videos. They're all just trying to find a home right now. So they're all bearding out here. I gotta be careful because this hive is just resting on this ledge. I don't want them to fall. I'm gonna open them up after I go get my smoker. Alright, as with everything in life, time is against us and has been. It's been 10 minutes. Got my smoker here. Had to go get some water. A bit hungover. When you get older, you can't drink as much. I had one vodka martini, and I'm just absolutely wrecked right now. Last night. Alright, let's see here. What I think I'm going to do, since all of these frames, all of them are empty, I'm going to have 4 empty, and then I'm going to go in here, I'm going to grab 3 with eggs. Nah, you know what? I'm just going to put them in here with nothing in it, except for this one frame. Well, no. I think I'm going to put a few frames of eggs from this hive over into here. So the queen can have somewhere to lay. Alright, let's open her up with some smoke. Again, it's February, shoot. You gotta be kidding me. These frames are falling apart on me. I guess that's because they've been out in the elements. This frame, this nuke box has been out in the elements. Trying to grab this plastic frame here and looking for the queen, and I don't have a queen holder. And as I said, time was on my side, not on my side right now. I'm hoping that my camera that you guys are having the pleasure of watching this while it's being filmed is black and in the sun. Alright, you guys got to see this once on my nucleus install. This is how we get the bees from here into here. And it's a little bit intimidating and scary for those who haven't done it. That's not it right there. Show you in just a second. Alright, here we go. Get everything here in place. Alright, so we got 4 and 3, that's 7 total. Alright, here it goes. Hold it. Okay, it was at this moment that I realized I had done something terribly wrong. Now, anybody care to guess what it is? Okay, time's up. If you look right here, all of these bees that are on the outside of the nucleus, this should not have been done where it is right there. It should have been done over the top of this hive because all of those bees fell onto the ground instead of into the hive. That was thousands of bees that were wasted if they didn't find their way back into a colony. All right, let's continue. Woo! They were freaking out. Alright, just until we get them situated, I'm going to cover them up here. Just like that. Alright, make sure that your work area is all clean around your feet. Got a whole group of girls around here. I want to make sure that they're not bearding up around a queen that might have fallen or something. I'm not entirely positive. We will find out one way or another. Let's get into the hive here and see if they ran out of space. Alright, I looked in here. Not sure if you can see queen cells, royal jelly. So we got capped brood on this. I'm going to put this in there so that when they hatch, the queen has a place to lay. Of course, we're going to replace it. Oh yeah, you can really tell all these are queen cups. There's a complete and capped queen cell. I'm not going to mess with it because that could be our potential queen. Got another one right next to it. I'm giving them some comb from this hive because I don't want them to have to work so hard to survive, to build out. Because as I've said in my videos before, 6 pounds of honey equals 1 pound of comb. It also means with sugar, 6 pounds of sugar is 1 pound of comb. So we're just making them work harder if they've got to build it out themselves. This is part of our management. One thing I forgot to bring out here, I don't want to say I forgot, I got out here in a hurry to respond to what was happening, was a pocket knife. Here's a capped frame of honey on one side. I'm going to put that in for some resources. One thing I know for certain now is that I'm going to start gluing my frames when I assemble them. Alright. Microfiber hive beetle trap worked somewhat, I guess. The bees don't like it in there, so they chew at it. Makes it all fuzzy. By the way, it's February 15th. Alright, so looky here. Got capped honey, but we got combs down here with larvae in them. Pupae. Hey, not eggs, I know that. Just let them take care of that themselves. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do some more honey harvesting. Yay for the mess. There's that queen cell that I showed you earlier, and there's another one facing it. So whichever one hatches first, she's gonna come out of that cell wanting to kill anything that she can get her little stinger on. Alright, so I just pulled that out. This is the opposite side. This is the facing side. There's that queen cell. There's another one, queen cup. It's not closed up, but we're gonna let them hatch on their own, and she's gonna come out wanting to sting anything in her path that's competitive to her, and she's gonna make some sounds. It's gonna be dark in here, as you can imagine. It's gonna be dark in here in the nest here, and they are actually going to make a piping sound to call out for the other queens, and that's what it sounds like. If you were to get really close to the hive, you could actually hear it. You don't need any special tools. You could use a stethoscope, but you don't have to. Alright, so check them. Today's Friday, I'm going to check them on Monday. Now, since there's nothing built out on here, and there's full frames of honey right here, I'm putting this right next to this brood chamber. Next to this frame of brood. And the thing I always forgot is to take this off. Ooh, that's nice. Not having to pick up that huge box of weight. Alright. Alright, so what I learned here the hard way, you gotta stay on top of your hive inspections and on a routine basis. Now, I'm breaking a rule right now, but don't do as I do right now, do as I say. Don't stand in front of the hive. I just wanted to disclaimer that. At any rate, you gotta stay on top of how the weather is, because bees don't follow a calendar. They follow an internal clock and an external environment, and various keys and various factors that trigger certain behaviors in a colony. And today I noticed a swarm. You guys got to see the aftermath of it, and I really apologize. I wish so badly that I could have gotten all that on camera, because it was a hoot. I had to jump my fence, get into my neighbor's fence, who's I've never met them before. Should probably do that and give them some honey. At any rate, this is completely empty now. There's some comb being drawn out There are 2 queen cells in the brood chamber here. They're capped over, so I think it's 14 days. I'm not so sure. But we're gonna have to check it out on Monday, and I'm gonna film that for you guys as well. And we'll pick up there. All right, so it's Monday. We're picking up from where we left off on Friday. We caught the swarm. They seem to be pretty strong here because they are coming in and out really strong. I want to get in here and see what's going on with the queen cells that we found. Again, yes, I am standing in front of the hive. They're a little bit restless right now, but it is a little bit late in the day as well. Ideally, we should be doing this during the height of the day when the sun is the highest in the sky. But let's go ahead and get into this. What I was thinking was that maybe, since there's a couple of frames in here with capped queen cells, maybe I might be able to get 2 hives out of this. We'll find out. Okay. Starting to build that out real nice. And there are eggs in there. Okay, so there's eggs in there. We got capped brood and eggs. Very small amount of capped brood, but we got a lot of eggs in the outer lying stuff. So I know that we got the queen. Now, upon inspection of the honey, we have a very high count on Varroa. Oops. Sorry. Alright, this is a prime example of why I don't like having yellow backing, because I can barely see the eggs in there, but they are there. I got eggs on one side and honey on the other. I've not found the queen, but I found signs of the queen. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Nice building out on that comb. I'm filling that with nectar. Building that out really good as well. Alright, I'm happy with that. That was a successful swarm. What I've done a little bit differently this time is that in here I've added in a little bit of lemongrass oil into the main body of feed that I've had, and it's supposed to help them want to consume more sugar faster, but I don't know. It's still my first year. Alright, so I'm happy with what we had in this hive that we put our swarm into. Friday, the hive swarmed on us. The queen left with half the colony, roughly. The statistics say 60 to 70% of the hive leaving behind what we saw. So I'm happy with having caught that, and I'm happy that we, on Monday, found that the queen was laying in the colony that they had already started to draw out the comb pretty fast, which I'm really pleased with. Now we're going to pick up next time with what I'm going to do with the other colony from which this colony swarmed. Now we have enough resources. We've got 3 queen cells fully drawn out and capped, so I'm thinking we're going to do a split, and that's going to be in the next video. Guys, thanks again for watching this video. Folks, I really hope you learned something, and I hope that it was relatively entertaining and that you guys learned something as well. Guys, check me out on Instagram at Chef Nicholas J and at the Bee Pimp, and I'll catch you on the next one.